sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone.
Kero and being responsible. So some of you guys have talked about how drama has no business being associated with Kero the Wolf, the logic being themes like necrophilia, pedophilia, bestiality are more crimes. And truth of the matter, I've seen arguments that the term crime doesn't even do it justice. Crimes are stealing candy or maybe downloading a video. Okay, obviously there are more severe crimes, but if you look, and not even that hard, you hear about murders and human trafficking. It's just the sheer amount of shock and whiplash that even the most so-called hardened individuals have been flinching at this sort of content. I, for one, don't want to get to a point where I'm numb to this sort of thing. I myself can only spend a limited amount of time looking at the more obscene aspects of this case. Hi, I'm for no good reason. I want to talk to you about recent activity in the Kero the Wolf case and what exactly counts as being related to Kero the Wolf. First, Kero the Wolf is a popular furry YouTuber with over 108,000 subscribers. He has 70 patrons on Patreon. Due to recent allegations, he has a protected account on Twitter with 21,000 followers. Mr. Metokur's alleged Twitter, sorry Jim, I didn't mean to out you there, has 21,000 followers as well. Now keep in mind, Jim or Mr. Metokur is an avid shitposter on Twitter and has 700 tweets due to some of the hiccups on Twitter. Kero has over 8,000 tweets, and we can only speculate what those are. I want you to know this because of the man and his reach. Kero, not Jim. How many of Kero the Wolf's 21,000 followers are kids? I'm going to take a look at one right now. Please do not bully or harass, but I do feel that Delirium 540 should at least be addressed.
Alright, so can't tell if this is framed well or not. Alright. So, if you're in the furry fandom, you probably know what's been going on with all the drama about the YouTuber Kero the Wolf. I'm not going to go into details as to what the drama is about, as I've already have to have enough stress about it already. I'm purely making this video to get out to the people where I stand on it and to get it all off.
Now, I want to keep in mind, I originally, when I peeked into the Kero situation, the first two videos I saw were Mr. Metokur, a man and his dog, and PK Russell, Kero the Wolf is innocent. I made a video called Kero the Wolf Mass Panic and Fear, and how my very first reaction was, wow, what a horrible ghoul of a man, what a monster. This Kero the Wolf must be the worst human being imaginable, only to see PK Russell's video and see what I saw was perceivably reasonable doubt. PK Russell, for whatever faults the man had, and he did fuck up a little bit of the information about the editing of the chat logs, about some of the screen edits, which he later addressed, between Kero the Wolf and a furry named Snake Thing. Both PK Russell's name and Snake Thing's name will be coming up again. Some of the screenshots included Kero wanting to have sex with dead animals. Mr. Metokur's video poked fun at Kero's excuse for being hacked, and PK Russell saying that there was no proof if Kero had or hadn't been hacked. God be willing, this is where my involvement would have ended. I made my own video where I thought and suggested that Jim stacked the deck against Kero a bit. That being September 30th, 2018, when Jim's first video dropped, and 9 days later when Jim's video, Kero and the Zoo Crew, came out.
One of the most hateful videos I've seen in a long time. Let me show you the part that I'm talking about in particular.
That content was created by furries. There are fursuiters out there that are fucking puppies with baseball bats and decapitating them and fucking their heads. There are people out there banging the corpses of deers in the fucking woods. There are people that share erotica when it relates to molesting puppy dogs and screwing roadkill. There's an actual section of the furry fandom that is into that shit.
No, there's no section.
I keep asking, who's this guy with the nose ring in? I would like to have a word with him. If he was blissfully ignorant, I'm not without understanding that some of these things might be a shock, but if this were a more active furry, someone who'd been around that fandom for a while, it might suggest he might have known better, at least for some of that. I would cite the remark about the erotica, as many bronies are well aware of fanfictions, like, for example, Sweet Apple Massacre, where one of the older characters from the series is written to rape and murder 3 of the younger characters from the show. The fact that someone that looks like this has no idea that fucked up fanfiction is out there in part of the fandom is eyebrow-raising, to say the least. I could ask most bronies what fucked up fanfiction that we've come across, or at least heard the titles. So, is this guy an idiot or a liar? On one hand, I'm a brony, and my information on furries is somewhat wanting, but if you think that bronies and furries are the same thing, Mr. Nosering, here is my opinion. I believe that you are a lying, self-serving sack of shit. If anyone could either bring me the video, tell me where this is from, or at least his channel, I would very much like to have a word with this man as soon as possible.
One of the most horrible, hate-filled videos he's ever seen. Furries don't do that, Jim. Furries are good boys. They're an innocent fandom. How dare you paint them with a broad brush? What you said about our boy, Kero the Wolf, or as I like to call him, Kero the Innocent, Saint Kero of puppydom. Stop slandering his sterling fucking reputation. You're leading a hate mob. Don't you understand the effect that you're having on our poor pupper Kero? He's gonna kill himself. He's getting hate mail.
I've been receiving death threats every single day. I seen a photo that someone posted of a sword, and they said they can't wait to chop my head off with it. So I'm honestly scarred, freaked out. I've been having anxiety attack after anxiety attack. I went into a really dark place when this first happened, and I almost did something that would have hurt me a lot.
This is Levi Simmons, otherwise known as Snake Thing, otherwise known as Nelazar. He was the key organizer of the group Zoo Sadists, a group that took sexual pleasure in the sexual pain of animals. Snake Thing is currently under arrest, presumably, due to some serious allegations of sexual abuse that included 2 of his own nephews. This is old news with the exception of the arrest of Snake Thing being November 26th. Some of the logs, presumably the images, were shared with an individual known as Sangi Nativus. There'll be something on screen here. You may remember that hearing the name Sanji in conjunction with Levi or Snake Thing's name from the metokur podcast Fursecution Sunday stream. I will naturally have a link down below, hopefully a card here as well.
Snaggy, Iggy is hot too. He is, P. Where do you know him from? And then he's quoting something. This is from, I guess, a username Iggy. So I had fun this night. So I had fun with Night, and they were not my age. So I was in my house laying on the couch half naked in a jock, and I turn over, and this little black kid was staring at me through the glass door that leads to the patio. So I opened the door to come in, asked him to come in, and I said sure. We talked on the couch, and he said it was very hot, which is why I don't turn the AC on. So he took off his pants and a shirt, and we sat there naked talking. I started to rub his leg, then I rubbed his stomach. He then decided to kiss my hand. And after that, he put his clothes back on and had to go home. So I guess Iggy is another one of them that sits in a fucking hot house. He doesn't turn the air conditioning on what? The off chance that a child wanders in? Snake Thing, a cub group. Oh, it's a cub group. Of course. Cute. Yeah. Furry cubs or, nope, entirely different cub group. One that doesn't shy away from RLC talk. I'm going to guess RLC stands for real life children, just given the context of the conversation. But it continues on the next cap. Oh, by the way, I'm doing chores with, name redacted. I was trying to get him to do something he didn't want to do. And Mom was all like, he is your uncle. You do everything he says, no questions asked. And I'm here like thinking, oh well, can you suck my dick, XD? XD, oh my fucking god.
The chat logs are from Sangi talking with Snake Thing. This is from Sange's Fur Affinity count, because of course it is. He claims to be the owner of Inked Fur. I went to Inked Fur, but I couldn't find Sanji there amongst the credits. So if you have more information, comment down below. Our little Sanji is a leftist anti-fascist. Where have I heard that before? I feel like I've talked about that. I feel like I had people asking me actively, what does anti-fascist have to do with any of this? Now, in my last video, It's a Dog-Eat-Wolf World, I talked about cleaning up the fandom. I made a case for the dangerous fringe alt-left, or the alternative left fringe group like Antifa. And we're going to tie that together and put a bow on that shit right now. This is formally a pinned tweet from Sanji from SJW Werewolf September 3rd, over 135 Nazi sympathizers blocked, and goes on to tout some program. I looked up SJW Werewolf and came across this image. Gay, 36, cis male, Antifa, he, his. Now, I've covered last time Antifa is something Homeland Security, aka the government, considers a terrorist cell. I pointed out that if you were interested in cleaning up the furry fandom, I made a case why that would never happen with miscreants like Dogpatch Press floating around. I clearly showed proof that Antifa is pro-pedophilia.
Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Our streets!
And here we have another anti-fascist individual who just shot the shit with Snake Thing, aka Levi, all giddy-like, as a little girl about, well, you know the kind of content we've been talking about here. There are people like this who legit think the most important thing in the midst of all this, whether you call it drama or you call it crime or call it the world's biggest shit show, some people feel being offended outranks all of this. As for our dear Sanji, he's been booked. Here's a picture where Sanji says that he likes cub artwork. Here is a screenshot where Sanji said his criminal record has been expunged. Here is his YouTube channel. Here is his Patreon, where he's been donating to such notables as H-Bomber Guy, Todd in the Shadows, formerly from That Guy with the Glasses, and Steve Shives. Oh, and I do believe that looks like Sean and Jen. Hi, Sean. I've seen you make several jokes about, well, let's not go too far about beating communists. Here is Sanji calling Total Biscuit a shit stain on gaming for encouraging the harassment of Zoe Quinn and Our Fair Lady Saint Anita. It never really stops with these people. Your life ends where their feelings begin. And that's as far as I wish to dig with that. So let's take this all the way back to our original statement. What is Kero the Wolf drama? Are the videos about Snake Thing, Ashley, Zoe Fox, and Sanji, or of the Zoo Zadists and the Kero drama, or is it just Kero? I think I can make a case when you look at all these people around Kero, with all the people he was in touch with, the Kero the Wolf, who said he'd missed what he did too much to give up on doing it. This was always more than one guy. Kero was just the brightest point, and let's be honest. Without Kero, it would have sounded something like, did you hear about the 20 to 30 to no-name weirdos that did what now? I'm going to read this off now. I think Mythical Red Fox's video was just fine. Sure, he did bash PK Russell, but the guy deserved it. Mythical really only brought up PK so he could provide a rebuttal to all the people saying that Kero is innocent. Just watch PK Russell's video. I had hordes of people doing the same thing to me after I posted my video about Kero. Most of his video is spent proving that the evidence that was provided by Zoodanism, the leaked Telegram chat, was solid evidence. The very tiny, subtle Antifa super soldier reference was there as a skit at the beginning isn't substantial. It doesn't have any impact at all on anyone watching the video. It was very clearly a joke, at least I believe it was, considering it was a skit with the exaggeration used for humor. There are many people who do legitimately believe in Antifa and that responding to Nazis with physical violence is okay, or calling anyone that disagrees with them a Nazi is okay. As you said in your video, Dogpatch Press may well be one of those people, as you show, but to claim that the entire reason that they chose to feature Mythical Red Fox's video was because of some minuscule joke that takes up 2 seconds of a 20-minute video. is literally ridiculous. They used it because it's the first video that was posted to very concisely gather all the evidence in one place, showing that the proof was not doctored or faked. I also don't think that they used Metokur's video because he bashes furries in the video quite a lot. I love Metokur and his humor, and his Kero video was great. I legitimately cheered when it was uploaded. But I don't think his video about the furries necessarily belonged on a website aimed towards furries. Just business-wise, that wouldn't be a wise choice. I just don't think that Dogpatch's choice was politically motivated in this instance. Otherwise, you made a pretty solid video. I hadn't known Dogpatch made those tweets, comments. I'm glad I do now. They definitely do have a weird Antifa-like political agenda. Dare I say they're an SJW. Just for future reference, you didn't need to connect Kero to the Dogpatch press stuff to put Kero in the title and thumbnail. The video was hardly anything to do with Kero. Dare I say it was clickbait. And when you started the video with the Crown Prince trailer, I was so confused that I thought I had clicked on the wrong video. Lol. Sorry for the long comment. Wowie. TLDR. Solid video, but maybe next time choose a more accurate title and stay on the topic throughout the video. Yeah, that's somewhat fair. I do have attention deficit disorder. Myself responding. Alright, let me ask you this. Had the call said Richard Spencer hotline, do you think these people would be screeching about Nazis? Yes or no? As for Mythical, do you see his face in the thumbnail? Or Fursana? I barely chided the man. As for PK Russell, he pointed out Mythical's mistakes in his response and got a shoulder shrug. I didn't include that again because, as far as I know, maybe Mythical just had a brain fart that day. As for starting the video, it's a new channel trailer. I quickly addressed some issues with the channel and got to more pressing matters. It's cleaning up the fandom haphazard. You said it yourself, Dogpatch Press may well be one of these people. Kero's images should be a reminder whether anyone tries to deal with a problem in the furry fandom, because he is the perfect example of what happens when you pass off the ball to someone else to do it. There are plenty of examples of Dogpatch Press readily available, and why I felt your fandom should distance itself from individuals like Dogpatch Press. You're free to disagree, after all. I won't call you a Nazi or a commie if you do. I won't put you on some inane list for having your own opinion. And let's get to this now.
Dogpatch Press, Nas Hyena, Venus as a bun, I don't know who that is, Chip Fox, who we'll get into in just a second, whoever this is, Zenny, Deotas Devil, and Vex. So when I responded with my reply, wow, how convenient of you to just ignore, when I said this, I did the same thing. I was like, and I can do the tag thing too, so I tagged all of them. You know how he responded? He said, that's cool, that's it. He looked at literally me showing that he was purposely misleading his audience, purposely taking me out of context, and purposely lying about what I said.
Dear Haphazard, in regards to Mythical Red Fox, he still has not made a response to PK Russell smacking him up like a bitch. And no, I don't know about you, but if Mr. Frosted Tips over here sneezed FNGR, unless I was entirely wrong, you're damn sure I would have got out there and I would have pimp slapped the shit out of the king of clickbait over here. So I'm just going to assume that Mythic Fox fucked up. He knew he fucked up and tucked his tail and ran. See you down below. Mikasa Sukasa. Feel free to come on down to one of my streams if you want. I'd love to hash this out if you have any further thoughts. And let's get to our last customer of the evening. We're going back to Delirium 540.
Now, Kero the Wolf was... I don't know how to say this. Kero the Wolf is in some deep trouble with being a zoophile. If you don't know what that is, just look it up. But there are a lot of people who are trying to tell him to kill himself and disown him from the fandom. Now, I do not agree with what Kero the Wolf has done, and I probably will never agree with it. But I am the person who believes innocent until proven guilty.
Now, I have to point out here, if you're new to the YouTube game, there's about 6 videos on Delirium 540's page. Being taken back by all this crap that was going on, being skeptical, even if that word has become a bit of a meme due to the skeptic community, it's fine. Needing some time to wake up from the haze, if someone you liked does take time, you shouldn't just take someone's word. Let's be honest, this has been a long way from an easy topic to suck down. So what do we tell a younger fan of Kero? What do we tell them to get them to avoid someone like this? When you look at misinformation from such individuals like Ashley Zofox saying that Kero had talked to the cops, to I've heard he's really doing it now. But why I've heard that from some fairly big sources like Mr. Metokur, it is just possible that Mr. Metokur heard it from a guy who heard it from someone else. I've yet to hear an arrest as far as Kero goes.
I understand that people do not want any contact with Kero the Wolf, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate on this video for what I stand for. That is okay. You are allowed to have opinion, as am I. I am not going to judge you for what your opinion is. But I must say, if you are going to make a comment in the comment section about your opinion, you can expect either somebody else or myself to go into a argument.
And again, keep in mind this was the earlier days of the Kero drama, or the garbage fire if you will, so I do consider this fine.
If I was in fact proven guilty, I will admit my mistake of supporting him and thinking he was innocent. But on the other half, if he is proven innocent, I want everybody to do the same. Everybody who thinks he was guilty to apologize.
I can remember back being able to close my eyes and really hope for an idealistic outcome. The cops will come and everything will be cool, for better for worse, for Kero, but the rest of us will be able to go on to be happily ever after, at least comparatively. I think that's a fair enough representation of a balanced perspective on what most people who didn't take a deeper dive, who didn't look at the more disturbing things to look at that are out there, which I gotta admit, I'm still light years away from seeing the worst myself. Here's the follow-up video.
This video to let everybody know that I might be taking that video down, or at least privating it, or taking the comments off of it, mainly because my opinion may or may not have changed about him. I've just been really stressed about it lately when I shouldn't be. I should be focusing on school and stuff like that. This is, to me and my family, this is just internet drama. I don't have anything to do with it, and I shouldn't have anything to do with it, and neither should anybody else.
Till now, I forget when I downloaded this video and why I was going to touch upon this. I felt like, well, damn, I probably should cut this. This is me being kind of a petty fuck, and I'm padding out this video until I heard no one should have anything to do with this. Okay, I made my own video where, despite my best intentions to handle this well, to give Kero the benefit of the doubt, it ultimately didn't head that way. I even considered snapping the video down, but the internet never forgets. And even if it did, it would be irresponsible to just leave my thoughts out there for people who saw what I said and maybe they just never looked at anything else beyond that on that topic. So I made a video called Kero the Wolf, The Fire Rises, on top of making an apology to Jim, aka Mr. Metokur. I put it on my main channel. I didn't want to bore my fans, but you know, it has been somewhat of the most fascinating garbage fire of its kind that I've ever seen, if I can even compare it to anything else. I'm not unempathetic to Delirium 540 school or outside life, but once you've stepped into something serious like this, you're kinda in. So here's my advice to Delirium 540. You can snap your video down, or even videos. You can scrap your current free costumes and cross your fingers and pray like hell that no one recognizes your voice. You can do that. You likely, in all probability, will be able to walk away from this if you do all those things. But before you do, here are some of the cons of doing that. 1, it is a terrible habit of stepping away from something and just hoping people forget. I understand that you're likely still very young, but you already had the right idea with your first video.
If I was in fact proven guilty, I will admit my mistake of supporting him and thinking he was innocent. But on the other half, if he is proven innocent, I want everybody to do the same. Everybody who thinks he was guilty to apologize.
This was a fair, mature, and adult way of handling things. It was a wonderful start, and I do understand why Kero hasn't been found guilty, and I personally remain skeptical that he'll see justice for the things that he's done. Those being putting varying degrees of suffering to an animal that no man or woman should ever do for a level of gratification I just can't understand. I do apologize for addressing you or anyone on such a brutal and inhuman topic, but it's something we should talk about because Kero helped foster an environment where over a dozen people took turns feeding off what if I called them unhealthy habits. It would do a massive disservice to animals and children who have been wronged by this sub-community of the furry fandom.
Else. So I might be taking that video down just so I can kind of back away from it and quit forcing myself into a depression because of it. If you don't know, Kero had a live stream a while ago, and I was happy to see that he was okay and alive and well, because I don't believe, no matter what a person has done, that they should be getting death threats and stuff like that.
Due to YouTube's terms of service, I can't disagree with you. I'll be honest with you. He doesn't look like a monster. He doesn't sound like one. For anyone who wants to take a peek at that, on what a monster looks like, please go check out Snake Thing or Sangi Nativus, two people who Kero shared his interests with, which included cruelty to animals, the sort of cruelty that arguably led to the death of one of Kero's pets.
So I don't agree with what Kero's been doing. And I'm honestly at the point where, you know what, I'm not gonna voice my opinion at all, pretty much. I'm just gonna, agree with people and disagree with people. Because there's people that I really like and still really want to like and be friends with that are completely against Kero. And then there's people that I like and want to be friends with that still, don't like Kero. I think that's what I was saying. Yeah. So basically there's people that don't like Kero and people that do.
Again, I understand that there's a lack of experience in these kind of matters. For anyone watching, if you intend to speak up against someone you respect, it reflects poorly on you to throw up your hands and going, "School, nobody look at this." Here, I'll try to walk you through this one. I'm sorry that Kero the Wolf is likely a high-profile monster in my community. I am sorry some of my friends still like him. I'm sorry that people are upset that I can't wish death on a man, which YouTube would more likely than not frown on anyways. There were so many ways this video could have been done better, after what was a pretty strong interlude into a garbage fire. Most adults, including myself, initially fucked up. Again, I got it. You got in over your head. I didn't consider just how bad things really were. I'm new to this. I'm sorry. The follow-up to that could be as little as a minute. Maybe include a link to some anti-animal abuse websites or some kind of safety for children online, maybe because of some of Kero's friends' actions. Delirium 540, why I take issue with this video. This is a very easy video for you to walk back, but I do suggest you do so. I do suggest making the correction in the same venue as the mistake that was made. Or you could hang your head low, and I hope for your sake that you don't make a habit of running away. It's a terrible habit to have, and I would know from experience.
I'm just kind of in between, in the middle. In fact, nobody should be anywhere. So it's kind of just like, okay, well, I'll sit and wait for the police report to come out. If he turns out to be guilty, or if there is no police report, then I'll make an apology video. But if he is innocent, then I'm kind of just going to be like, I don't know, I'm probably just going to stay out of it completely. This is mainly because I don't have the mental strength to deal with this shit anymore. So, that's that. So if I offended you guys in any way, I'm really sorry about that. I never meant to do that. I did gain 4 new subscribers though, so if you're new, hello, hi. So yeah, but I decided to kind of jump on the trend wagon and yeah. So yeah, that video might be coming down or might not be. This is kind of just like a little update on that. But I really just don't have the mental strength to deal with it anymore.
You have nearly 300 views on both of your Kero the Wolf videos. I've seen 14 downvotes on the first one, and the worst comment on there is something about the furry fandom being hated. Unless some really brutal remarks were removed, this seems kind of tame. God forbid, even if you have the safest video in the world, if you ever went viral, you would get far worse comments, at least by a couple, by the sheer law of averages. I looked at that second video. You had somewhat maybe a heated discussion with one person about politics. Question mark? I'm kind of at a loss at what broke you here, Delirium 540. I don't hate you. I don't think my fans should hate you. But I do think that there's some things a responsible person should address. Whether you're that person or not is up to you. Till next time, a field burns, a plague spreads, all for no good reason.